Good morning, everyone, and revered judges. Today, I'm going to talk about ophthalmology residency during and after COVID-19 pandemic. We all know that ophtho residency has a triple mission.
Ma'am, please put on slideshow, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. We all know that it has a triple mission of clinical care, research, and patient care. So we have this COVID-19 pandemic has adversely affected the impact training of residents in all specialties of medicine, but surgical training has been impacted more adversely. Most of the offline didactic lectures, clinical rounds, and clinical rotations have been discontinued, and residents have been put in the care of COVID positive patients, hampering their training in ophthalmology. This is an interview-based study over the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on ongoing learning of ophthalmologists in training, analyzing measures to curb the loss and idea to cope up with the after effects. We gave a standard questionnaire via online platform, which was filled in up by various residents from various parts of the country. This is the sample questions we gave, like the type of institution, the COVID center, year of residency, training, and whether they felt stressed and everything. And we got the suggestions regarding ways to cope up with the after effects. This is the result showing that most of the residents were from government institution doing MS and mostly have been posted in COVID duty and were not happy about it. OPD and OT patients have obviously decreased everywhere, but we have methods to keep in touch with the ophthalmology while posted elsewhere, like webinars, online lectures, and virtual conferences like the one we are having right now. Everywhere the patients have decreased, so it is hampering our surgical residency due to decreased outpatient volume and everything. We have less surgical volume, less exposure to the patients required in ophthalmology. Only emergency patients have been seen. Now, lectures have converted from group meetings to online video conferences over Zoom. International conferences have moved online. Dissemination of scientific findings by international speakers without the need of travel is being done. Large conferences cannot continue like this, but can have a virtual option later. Clinical research, only essential ones are permitted, and they need to adapt to account for future pandemics, including novel data acquisition, telemedicine, online questionnaire, and remote monitoring. Because of changes in outpatient practices, residents will become expert in telemedicine and remote monitoring, accelerating incorporation of artificial intelligence into clinical practice. We can have such virtual surgical simulators for basic cataract and vitreoretinal surgery training. Institutes can have roster-based skill lab posting of residents where they can perform surgical training on goat's eye, wax models, 3D models. Online surgical videos can be used. Online video-assisted surgical training can be done. And there can residents should be involved in non-technical skills like crisis management, teamwork, financial literacy, patient communication, etc. Peer groups should be there for mental and emotional health of the residents. Institutes can formulate revised guidelines for all patients-based clinical studies to make their sample size feasible so that the residents can complete the research and thesis products. Many changes in this practice during this pandemic will be accelerated and sustained and will become a part of the new normal after this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Namrata. We understand your pain, and definitely All India Ophthalmic Society is looking into it. This paper is not for evaluation. However, Dr. Nanda sir, would you like to ask something?
Sir, it is a really interesting topic. Nobody wants in the COVID duty. Mostly ophthalmologist is also in a dilemma. So my students are also complaining, sir, please say that I will be doing this, that duty, and moreover also there. It is a scaring situation everywhere. So no question, Namrata. It is a general view. So thank you.
Can we have a question from Dr. Maratha, sir?
Yeah, I think. Dr. Namrata,
yes, sir.
What would have been the ideal situation according to you? Not the medical college, not the government telling you anything. What would have been the ideal solution on this?
Sir, ideal solution in COVID-19 situation?
No. About residents' role. Residents.
Yeah. So normally though we should be getting normal surgical exposure, like we should be getting SIC at least in final year. I'm a final year resident, but I haven't done even one single SICS complete case because of the reduced volume. And we are not even sure if our OT will open or how many cases we'll be getting. And that is a stressful condition because pandemic will be continued. Up to what extent, no one knows. And we'll be giving our final exams next year. And after that, we won't have that exposure to clinical skills and everything. And doing a fellowship later on is also hectic. No one wants to just continue studying, and we want to practice. We want to see the patients. We want to
Okay,
heal
okay,
them.
okay.
And if
Okay,
we don't
Dr.
get the
Srini.
exposure,
Okay. We understand your pain. Dr. Srini.
Dr.
It is a pain for
Dr. Namrata,
for
excellent.
everybody.
But everyone should do a fellowship, because I mean we had done a survey on specifically on this. How COVID-19 affected across the spectrum.
Yes.
It's not just the residents; it's the fellows. Even those in practice, in government sector, were the ones who were the most affected.
Yes.
So the suggestions actually, it should be, see, anybody has to go for fellowship training.
yes.
The fellowship training, they're just giving the fellowship certificate without enough training. So we have given some suggestions to through IJO. Let's see if it works out. It might help you out.
The fellowship can be in only one branch. That is PG. We get every other type of things we can do. In fellowship, we are restricted to only one thing. That is why PG residents should get some exposure.